The next presenter is Dr. Arushi Saini, who will be presenting to us on comparative evaluation of ocular surface health in thyroid disorder with or without eye signs.
Good morning, everyone. The title of my presentation is Comparative Evaluation of Ocular Surface Health in Patients with Thyroid Disorder, both with and without eye signs. I have no financial disclosures. Introduction. Dry eye can be divided into three types based on the mechanism behind it. It can be an aqueous deficiency dry eye due to decreased tear production, hyperevaporative type in which there is more evaporation from the ocular surface, or a combination of two. Further tests can be done to differentiate which type of dry eye is present. Ocular surface inflammation and increased tear osmolarity can occur in both these types of dry eyes. Thyroid disorder has been associated with dry eye in the literature, and the most common cause is given as evaporative dry eye due to the thyroid eye signs like lid retraction and decreased blink rate. Other than that, ocular inflammation, lacrimal gland dysfunction, meibomian gland dysfunction, and corneal hypoesthesia have also been listed as causes of dry eye. In our study, we included patients with thyroid disorder, both hyperthyroidism as well as hypothyroidism. Exclusion criteria included subjects with any systemic illness known to affect ocular surface like Sjogren syndrome, history of any ocular surgery, contact lens use, active infection, or using topical medications that can cause dry eye. Material and methods. We took a total of 90 subjects. 30 were controls which were age and gender matched and taken from the eye OPD of GTB hospital. 30 patients with thyroid disorder with eye signs and 30 patients with thyroid disorder without any prominent eye signs. All the subjects underwent detailed ocular and systemic examination with assessment of eye signs and thyroid disorder under informed consent. The patients filled an OSDI questionnaire in the confidential setting. A tear film breakup time was done along with basal secretion test and Schirmer's 1 test. They also underwent impression cytology, in which a cellulose acetate filter paper was used to impression the conjunctiva, and a pass staining was later done. Tear ferning was also done, and tears were collected using a glass tube and were spread on a clean glass slide and assessed. So the tear ferning grading used in our study had 4 grades, in which we considered grade 1 and 2 as normal. A good ferning pattern was obtained in the normal grades, and grade 3 and 4 were abnormal, having a fragmented tear ferning or no tear ferning at all. Tear ferning is an indicator of the tear film structure and osmolarity, and in cases of mucin deficiency, abnormal tear ferning can be obtained. Impression cytology is an indicator of ocular surface health and inflammation. We considered grade 0 and 1 normal in our study, in which there were presence of good number of goblet cells as well as small and round epithelial cells. Increase in the size of the epithelial cells and decrease in number of the goblet cells indicated an abnormal conjunctival impression cytology, as can be seen here. Coming on to the results, first we compared thyroid disorder with controls. A significantly severe Schirmer's 1, BST and TBUT was seen in the thyroid disorder group, as can be seen in the bar charts with a dark blue color showing abnormal grades. Then higher percentage of abnormal grades were seen in thyroid disorder with respect to tear ferning and impression cytology, but these were not statistically significant. We next compared thyroid disorder with eye signs versus thyroid disorder without any eye signs. A significantly higher OSDI score was seen in the eye signs group, indicating that symptoms of eye disease were more common in thyroid eye disease group. Higher severity of Schirmer 1, BST and TBUT grades were seen in the eye signs group, but these were not statistically significant. Abnormal grades of tear ferning were also more common in eye signs group, but not statistically significant. However, impression cytology was found to be significantly abnormal in the eye disease group, as can be seen in the bar chart, indicating that ocular surface inflammation has a major role to play in eye disease group. Summarizing, when we compared thyroid disorder versus controls, we found Schirmer's 1, BST and TBUT to be significantly abnormal, and both these tell that aqueous secretion as well as evaporative dry eye have a role to play in thyroid disorder. In our study, we found a more significant association with Schirmer's 1 and BST, telling that aqueous secretion, dry eye, is prominently present in thyroid disorder group. When we compared eye signs group versus no eye signs, impression cytology was the only test to be found significantly abnormal between the two groups, indicating that the patient with eye signs had a ocular surface inflammation which was less in patients of no eye signs. Conclusion: Our study suggests that patients with thyroid disorder had higher prevalence of dry eye compared to controls. Both evaporative and aqueous deficiency dry eye contribute to the pathogenesis. In our study, evaporative dry eye was more significantly linked to thyroid disorder. Patients with thyroid eye signs had significantly more abnormality in impression cytology compared to those without eye signs. It suggests that ocular inflammation can play a major role in such patients as compared to those without eye signs. Thank you.
Did anybody have exposure keratitis in your group?
No, ma'am. We
No.
didn't take patients of
You
lag
not-
ophthalmos.
There were patients with
There
lag
were
of-
patients, but we did not include them in
Did
this.
not include. They
Yes.
were excluded.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did anybody have superior limbic keratoconjunctivitis?
Yes, ma'am. They were included in this.
They were included.
Yes.
Right. How many patients?
Ma'am, approximately 10% patients of the total thyroid patients had superior limbic keratitis.
Okay.
Thank you.